Chris Davis accounted for the only 2 runs the Orioles would get, but it would be enough. The reason? The bullpen came through yet one more time, shutting down the Yankees. McFarland, another long outing, written on for the save. That evens the series 1-1. Tonight, Ubaldo Jimenez takes them out. The Orioles have a chance to win this series. The rubber match is next. It's the Orioles on Masson, and the final game of this road trip. Yankee Stadium, the site, and the Orioles 1-1 through the first 2. Look for the series W next. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome. For the O's, an opportunity to have a successful road trip in their own way. They have struggled on the road all season long. Here's an opportunity to take the Yankees 2 out of 3. We'll see if they can get it done tonight. If they do, Chris Davis will probably be involved. Last night, another game-winning hit, the home run in the 9th inning. This is what it looked like as he put the ball game away. This is number 41. He is the league leader, ahead of Nelson Cruz in the American League. But it's not just that he hits home runs. That obviously is the swing and the result Oriole fans have come to love. But if you go a little bit deeper on Chris Davis, you find out there's more to those home runs. You take a look at the go-ahead RBIs. He's had 26 of them. Only the probable MVP, Josh Donaldson, is ahead of him. In game-winning RBIs in the league, 13. That is good enough for 5th place. And there's more. Against left-handers, we talked about the dramatic improvement that he has had this season at the plate. Right now in home runs, he's had the 2nd most against lefties. Only Cruz from the other side of the plate is ahead of him. And in RBIs against left-handers, his 27 is 3rd in the league. So, Mike Bordick, we're not just talking about numbers. They are numbers that have mattered.
Yeah, he has been very productive. And in the words of Kevin Gausman after last night's ball game, he's a freak. I mean, he goes into this other atmosphere when he starts getting onto the baseball. And he's had some big streaks this year. Right now, right in the 7-game hitting streak, hitting over 400 with 6 home runs. So he can do it all when he's seeing the baseball well, but he's dangerous and has been all year long, especially against left-handed pitchers. You know, his natural swing path is down, so when they try to fool him with a slider or a breaking ball, he's on it. But he's been on the fastball this year, as impressive as we've seen, even against left-handed pitchers, keeping that front side closed. That fastball he hit last night, a 2-0 count, but it was a fastball away, and he can expand the strike zone a little bit, get out there and touch these baseballs, power to all fields. I mean, he is somebody that is so impactful in the middle of a lineup that he shakes up opposing rotations.
Well, we'll see how he shakes it up tonight, because this is a pretty interesting matchup, because you got a southpaw on the mound. His name is CC Sabathia.
Yeah, well, CC Sabathia has done a pretty good job in his career against left-handed hitters, but Chris Davis is a different breed right now, and I'm sure CC Sabathia approaching a hitter like Chris Davis is going to be very careful. He may challenge him early on, but I'll tell you what, the way Chris Davis is seeing the baseball right now, it's coming in big, and he isn't missing many pitches.
All right, we'll see what happens here tonight as the Orioles head home after the ball game and would like to go there with a W, as with their fans. Orioles baseball is next.
Let's go, Let's go,
Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. First time in the 3 games, we've actually had a few clouds overhead. In fact, there was a little rain during batting practice, but very little. Our BGE home game time temperature, 83 degrees. Humidity still up there at 64%. BGE Home, Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? Here's the starting lineup against Sabathia for the Orioles, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now, southwest.com. Raimo, Power, and Machado, Davis, Scope, and Joseph. Pierce, Hardy, Alvarez rejoining the team and is in the lineup. Chris will come in with a 7-game hit streak and 6 home runs during it.
And let's take a look at CC Sabathia's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball 58% of the time. Velocity's gone down, of course, over the years, but still works in the low 90s with the heater, and he's cutting his fastball a little bit more this year. The breaking ball, the slider, and the changeup 19% of the time this season. In 24 starts, has had 1 complete game, but a 5.27 earned run average, giving up 113 strikeouts, 37 walks on the year. Take a look at the bottom there. He's given up 26 home runs this season, 24 of them, 23 of them to right-handed hitters. The lefties have been struggling. Just a 179 overall batting average for the Orioles righties to take advantage of those numbers in this ball game.
Now, Sabathia coming back off the DL wearing a brace on that knee for the first time on the right knee. He has not pitched in a ball game, a live game like this before with that brace on. Chronic knee problem. It's just wear and tear over the years from CC. And in all honesty, in the starts he had before he went on the DL, according to most of the people watching, he didn't have much. So we'll see whether or not he's got anything here in this ball game. But it's been a struggle for him. The high ERA, you saw 5.27, batting average 297 overall by opponents. Raimo will lead it off. He's in that leadoff spot again. Adam Jones still out of the ball game, and the pitch will be taken up high. Jones could have played tonight, according to both Adam and his manager. Buck said, I could have put him in, but I don't want to risk it. We'll take the 1 more game day off tomorrow.
A good opportunity to get a couple 3 days under his belt. Rest that arm and wrist and whatever else is ailing Adam.
Pitch will be taken up high, and he falls behind 2-0. Raimo has had real good numbers against him at 367 batting average and a couple of home runs against CC Sabathia. Pitch on the way, and that also is going to be up high. In light of the fact he's coming off the DL, unless he's very fortunate, it may take an inning or more just to kind of settle in.
Yeah. You know, his 3 starts prior to his knee injury, he did get up over 6 innings. So he's pitching a little bit deeper in ball games, but Joe Girardi's kind of been managing him on the cautious side all year. He's only thrown over 100 pitches in 5 of his 24 starts this year.
Larry Rothschild, pitching coach, will be watching closely here in this start. 3-1 delivery on the way, and Raimo will take it for a strike. So he finds the strike zone after missing on the first 3 pitches, and Raimo now finds himself with a full count, 3-2. Nolan, 250, a homer off the Yankees in games played this year as the Orioles go after win number 67 tonight. 3-2 pitch on the way, and he walked him. Stayed up high with it.
Nice at bat right there by Nolan Raimo. Let's take a look at the Yankees defense behind Sabathia. Ackley getting the start in left field. Ellsbury and Beltran will join him. Gregorius and Drew up the middle. Headley and Bird on the corners, and McCann back behind the plate.
So the Orioles with a leadoff man on will get Para, their number 2 hitter, is 2 for 9 in the series to the plate. The Orioles against left-handed starters, 17-18. That is the 10th best win percentage in the American League of the 15 ball clubs. Not much difference average wise overall against left-handers. 250, 252 off righties. Para with a runner at first base, and the pitch will be up and in. Headley will play in at third base. You have to believe tonight at some point the Orioles are going to test the bunt. Sabathia does not move well anyway, and now with that brace on and the knee problem.
Yeah, you know Headley's going to be protecting Sabathia over there, so well in on the grass over at third base. I didn't even think the Orioles were going to wait this long to test Sabathia. The importance of getting that one run across the plate for the Orioles. It's a pretty good opportunity here.
Flores faced Sabathia only 3 times, 1 for 3 against him. Headley right on the cut of the grass at third base. Not a big lead for Reimold. Sabathia still has a good move over there. Off speed pitch way out in front of it, turns it over into the Yankee dugout. That 5.77 ERA he's got is the highest of his career. He is a fly ball pitcher, 53% of the outs coming on fly balls this season. And he needs to get ahead and keep runners off base. Runners on base, opponents hit .318 against him. .283 when they're empty. 1-2 delivery on the way. Breaking ball to second base. Drew's got it, had it, and still gets an out. Saved himself an error right there, but that should have been a double play. And down to second base goes Reimold.
Yeah, pretty much a routine double play ball right there. Drew kind of rubbing the eye, maybe some dirt kicked up. Oh, I guess the ball caught him right on the cheek. He left that one, completely left that one. A lot of times you'll see infielders, they'll catch the ball, but then be a little bit too quick and not get a handle. But there, he left everything. Glove left. Couldn't come down with the most important thing, and that is catching the baseball.
I think caught him pretty good.
Yeah.
On the eye around the cheekbone. So Manny Machado gets an RBI opportunity. 9 for 27 with a home run off Sabathia. Interesting, last night in the Orioles win 2-1, neither team had a hit with a runner in scoring position. The Orioles went 0 for 3 and the Yankees went 0 for 4. In the series, the Orioles are 3 for 11 in these situations, and as a team still ranked 4th overall in the American League. 1-0 count, Machado waiting on it. He'll reach and foul it back.
Chris Davis might argue that point. I think he'll say every time he steps into the box, he's in scoring position.
I like that. That's
He's
good.
been hitting the long ball.
I cover all 4 at once.
Yeah.
Pick me up wherever you want. There is Chris waiting on deck. Jonathan Schoop hitting behind him tonight. Buck Showalter continuing to find somebody to hit behind Davis who can protect him a little bit to guarantee some pitches, so opposing pitchers don't walk him every time. 1-1 delivery on the way. Sabathia will come inside, and the count will go to 2 balls and 1 strike.
See Manny's power zone here. The red spot up and away quadrant. Manny has been so good at keeping that bat head above his hands and covering the top of the strike zone. Make a mistake up there and he will drive the ball.
3-12 with runners in scoring position for Manny. Here's the 2-1 delivery set up outside. That's where it went. Runner's going to go. Play will be made by Gregorius. So Reimold will move over to third base, and there are 2 down. Well, this is the end of a road trip for the Orioles. Here's what it looks like so far.
Yeah, it was going to be a tough one. Started off in Toronto, did pick up a win there, but then 2 losses to end it. Nice win last night, so the 2-3 record, 4.6 runs per game, pretty darn good. 10 homers, great. The starters' earned run average continues to be the Achilles heel of this team, 5.96. Even the bullpen got touched up a little bit with a 4.19.
So the Orioles will look for a 2-out RBI. Chris Davis with a 7-game hit streak will take the pitch for a strike on the outside corner. Reimold's on at third base. They do not put the full shift on here. De Gregorius, the shortstop, is playing on the shortstop side of second base. Drew not as deep as he might be in right field. Interesting. 0-1 the count. Davis gets it down the line, and that's going to fall in for an RBI base hit. Beltran got no break at all on that ball, and Davis comes through with the RBI, and the Orioles have the early 1-0 lead.
Chris Davis will take that. When you're hot, you're hot. You're finding a hole in between Drew and Beltran, and Beltran did not get a break at all. The inside pitch there, a little jam shot. Sabathia thinking, how can that not be an out to get out of this inning?
So Sabathia really hurt by his defense. Should have been a double play earlier. The inning should have been over before Davis ever came to the plate. And on that one, the ball really looked like very catchable. Here's Jonathan Schoop, runner on at first base, and that one is going to be foul back. So Chris Davis continues his hit streak now. He is up to 8 ball games. He's gone 11 for 26 during the streak. That's his 11th RBI in those 8 games. And of course, the 6 home runs he's put up. 0-1 count on Scope. Jonathan, a couple of hits, 8 at bats in this series. He's had a home run and 3 RBIs against the Yankees here in the 3 games played. These two teams, of course, will have one more time to get together. It ought to be interesting. It'll be the final 3 games of the year during Fan Appreciation Weekend at Camden Yards in the first weekend of October. 2, 3, and 4. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 0-2 the count on Scope. Pitch is going to be inside. And certainly one thing the Orioles have already done, not only have they gotten the lead, but they have forced that pitch count up to at least 20 by Sabathia here in the first inning.
Which is a good game plan against Sabathia. He can work. He can find that strike zone after a stint on the disabled list.
Hasn't pitched since the 23rd of August. 1-2 delivery and went up and missed. So he'll get the strikeout, but the Orioles get the run. That leadoff walk to Reimold crosses on the Davis RBI. Orioles on top. There's the lineup for the Yankees tonight. Ellsbury, Headley, and Beltran. McCann, Rodriguez, Greg Bird, Dustin Ackley, first appearance in the series. Gregorius and Drew. Bird, their rookie first baseman. The numbers, August 19.
Now let's take a look at Ubaldo Jimenez's pitch arsenal this season. The fastball 64% of the time. First half of the season he was on with the 2-seamer. It's been up and down here in the second half. The breaking ball has a good slider and curve, and of course the split finger, which has led to 138 punch outs in 153 innings of work. 56 walks. That's 6 walks in his last outing, but managed to pick up that 10th win. The 18 home runs given up on the year for Ubaldo, and holding opponents to that 263 batting average.
So he's ready to go. Jacoby Ellsbury will take it for a strike. Couple of hits, 9 at bats in the series for Ellsbury. The 1-2 punch, top of the order for the Yankees, has not played in any of these 3 games. As Brett Gardner continues out, sore shoulder. They'd hoped to have him back today. Not so. Fastball will be up high for a ball. Well, they've had to move around with the importance of Gardner, and one of those table setters and runs scored. A fan. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way to Ellsbury. He'll take it down the line in left field. Long run, Reimold over. And we'll put it away.
Take a look here. Most career strikeouts by a Dominican Republic-born pitcher. Colon leading the way with over 2,000. Santana, but there's Ubaldo Jimenez, 1,426th. This is the active players now. Ramon Martinez, who's a special assignment pitching instructor with the Orioles, is actually a little bit better just one strikeout ahead of Ubaldo at 1,427. So 2 strikeouts, and Jimenez will be bypassing Ramon Martinez, who came into camp and actually helped Ubaldo.
Yeah.
And 2 pretty good right-handers out of the Dominican.
31 years old. 1-1 against the Yankees this year, 3-5 lifetime. Headley batting in the 2 spot. He has twice done so in this 3-game set. 8 for 26 lifetime with a home run off Jimenez. All the Yankees except Greg Bird have seen Jimenez a good number of times. There's one of those Ks right there.
Pretty nasty split finger where a hitter falls behind on Ubaldo, and you're guaranteed to see one of these. Nice location on the first 3. Then how about starting the splitter over the plate and let it work? Perfect execution there as Headley goes down swinging.
So 2 away, nobody on. Beltran coming up, switch hitter, 2 for 7 in the series. Beltran will foul that one back. For Jimenez against the Yankees this year, first outing, got the win, 3 runs, 6 hits, 5 innings. The Orioles had an 11-3 victory. Second time, July 23, took the loss, 7 runs, 8 hits, and just 2 1/3 innings against the Yankees in that ball game. It was the shortest start as far as innings pitched for Jimenez on the season. 1 ball, 1 strike count. 2 down, nobody on. Beltran with a shift on goes the other way. Again, Reimold, a long run to get to the wall. Goodbye, home run! And it just kept on going. The wind is blowing towards left field and rather briskly, and may have helped that ball go.
I think the wind pushed that one. Both lefties trying to go the other way. Ellsbury the deep fly to Reimold. This one carrying up over Reimold's head for a solo shot. He's tied this one up. You look at the fastball location. It's up and off the plate. And Beltran almost like he's looking for it out there, but look at the head position. Keeps it down through the baseball, and it's backspinning up there. Reimold had a good beat on it, but yeah, that wind kept pushing it.
So that'll tie the ball game up at 1-1, and a timeout taken at the plate. That'll be for Beltran against the Orioles, his 2nd home run this season and the 8th of his career. He's got 15 homers, 51 RBIs on the season. Well, it didn't take long to get it back. 19 home runs surrendered by Jimenez this season. That one's drilled deep and foul. Had the distance, not the line. McCann in the cleanup spot. Good numbers and a lot of at-bats against Jimenez. He's a .270 career hitter with a home run off the right-hander. And that one is going to miss inside. So the Yankees, who have scored more first-inning runs than anybody else, add to it.
A dangerous
111th first-inning run.
A lot of power in this lineup.
That ball in the air to center field. He just missed. Got under it. Hara will put it away. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. Nobody left on. Beltran gets the homer, and the ball game is tied at 1 apiece. Who's hot, who's not? Celebrate the season with the American Standard All-Star event. Visit MidAtlanticComfort.com for amazing rebate and financing opportunities.
Oh, Caleb Joseph has been hot indeed against the Yankees this season. 455, a couple home runs, 6 RBI. Stephen Drew not so hot. Very low numbers there last 5 games. And, of course, taking that ground ball, potential double play ball off the cheek there in the first inning. So not hot at all.
So Caleb will stand in. 0 for 3 in the only game he's appeared in this series. Couple of hits, 3 at-bats against CC Sabathia. Second inning. Pitch taken for a strike. Veteran pitcher announcing his retirement today, Tim Hudson of the Giants, saying he's done. End of the season, he'll be hanging him up. He said it's definitely my last year for sure. It's just the right time. Pretty good career for Tim Hudson.
Boy, I'll say.
0-1 pitch on the way, and that'll be outside for a ball. 1-1.
Well, he's a proof. You don't have to be a big guy, you know. As long as you work hard and do the right things. Very good delivery, and he's been able to stay healthy. And what a great career he's had.
Yep. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Sabathia, 35 years old. Another year on his contract. Trying to stay healthy enough to be able to at least work through that one. 18-7 lifetime is his record against the Orioles. 1 ball, 2 strike counted this year. 0-1. 2 starts. 1-2 pitch on the way by the lefty will come inside to Joseph. Evens the count up. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, that's one thing that CC hasn't been afraid of doing his whole career. Rushing that fastball into both lefties and righties. Try to open up that outside corner. Always had a really good change. Righties, he tends to mix it up with all of his offerings. Lefties primarily that fastball slider.
Kept that one down. And Sabathia's piled up the strikeouts. Gets one there. That's 2 in a row.
Take a look at this pitch here after the fastball inside. Nice little slider at the bottom of the zone. Starts it off away. Drops down and in, down and away to get Caleb Joseph to swing over the top.
He is the active leader in strikeouts in the majors. 2,552, including the 2 he's added tonight. Steve Pearce 3 for 14 off Sabathia. Gets a start tonight. Steve playing at first base. Buck Showalter continues to juggle the lineup. Davis playing some first. Wieters playing some first. Flaherty playing some first. Davis playing at first. 0-1 the count. Shift on against Pearce in the infield. And Sabathia's up high with it. 1-1.
I think ideally Buck Showalter would like to have one of those lineups where everybody stays healthy and it doesn't change. A typical kind of old school American League lineup where the the bench players only play maybe on a doubleheader or a Sunday afternoon ball game. But been some injuries this year, and Buck's moving the players around.
That one in the air to left. That wind still blowing that way. Back of the wall and caught. Ackley goes back and hauls it in at the top of the wall off Steve Pearce.
We've seen the ball carry out there to left field here in the early part of this ball game, and Ackley, he had a bead on this Steve Pearce fly ball, and it looked like it was going to carry out of the stadium. But look at the concentration up on the top of the wall, taking a potential home run. No way. Nice play by Ackley.
Great timing, and it certainly looked like it would go off the top of the wall one way or the other. So 2 down. And J.J. Hardy returning to the Orioles lineup with an 0 for 4 in the ball game last night. 10 for 31 with a home run lifetime against CC Sabathia. 1-0 pitch on the way. Hardy will take it. It'll be down low. And the count goes to 2-0. So it may be a night where the right-handers get the advantage at Yankee Stadium rather than the lefties for long balls because of that breeze keeping the ball alive to left field. 2 away, bases are empty. Hardy puts it in the air to center field. Ellsbury going back. And he will make the catch. A 1-2-3 inning for CC Sabathia, helped out by Dustin Ackley on a great catch. Years old, non-drafted free agent in the lineup.
And how about the start to his major league career? Taken away, potential base hit, but then a one-hop bullet at home. Look at the veteran, Beltre, sliding into home plate, and he turns around. He's like, where did that come from? Are you kidding me? Unleashes a cannon in right field. Nice way to start his career. Take a look at the Orioles defense. Reinhold, Parra, and Alvarez. In the outfield, Hardy and Scope up the middle, Machado and Pierce on the corners, and Caleb Joseph behind the plate.
That'll bring Rodriguez up to start it out here in the bottom of the second inning. And he'll take the pitch inside for a ball. Designated hitters 3 for 7 against the Oriole right-hander. He's had 3 hits in this series, and 2 of them have been home runs. As he continues a truly unbelievable season in production. The 30 homers, 78 RBIs, 18 doubles added to that. He too up there among the strikeout leaders, as you would expect, with 119. He'll reach for that, foul it back into the screen. And our Jeep inside the numbers. Home runs.
Take a look, most home runs since August 9th. Well, the Orioles and Chris Davis leading the way with 44. But they're the Yankees, 40 home runs. Take a look down at the bottom, though. Orioles 10-19 record during that span, so still hitting the long ball, but not able to come up with the big wins.
One's going to be fouled off the other way. Overall on the season for these two teams, the Yankees third with 186 home runs, the Orioles fourth with 183. Not much separation in the long ball between these two teams. Bird and Ackley due up here in the second inning for the Yankees. Defense pretty much straight up. 1-2 pitch on the way, and A-Rod will go down swinging. A tag will be put on by Caleb Joseph, and Ubaldo has his second strikeout.
You're going to get a lot of swing and misses with that split finger fastball as long as you have command of the fastball. Get him thinking everything's going to be a heater. Ubaldo's had the good command in this ball game and a couple chases on the split finger, and A-Rod goes down for the first out.
That'll bring Bird up to the plate. Their fine rookie first baseman with Teixeira on the DL. Talking with Joe Girardi before the game today, and he said it's just not getting any better. Joe said we're looking for some improvement, and he says he's on crutches and doesn't feel much different than when he first was injured. So obviously not a very good sign for Teixeira, who might well be the Yankee MVP this season with what he did offensively.
Yeah.
They're not sure they'll get him back, period, this year. Grounded into the shift. Good play by Pierce. Pitcher covers. Jimenez there in plenty of time, and there are two down. This Saturday, the Orioles take on the Royals for a special 1:05 afternoon game. First 20,000 fans 15 and over get the Birdland knit scarf. Tickets for the afternoon game on Saturday are available at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Hey, look where the scarf is. Jim Palmer on a 94-degree day, pitching with a scarf. As Harry would have said, holy cow, Jim. Here's Dustin Ackley. Ackley will take it for a strike on the outside corner. Ackley, a lifetime .256 hitter against the Orioles with a couple of home runs. And that one will miss, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
A pretty nice fastball right there. Baldo Jimenez, great bounce back year until the second half, where his earned run average kind of ballooned. But that two-seam fastball against the lefties, he's been starting at their front hip. It's been riding back over that inside corner. A lot of strikes that way this season.
Orioles have gone 14 and 13 in the 27 previous starts Jimenez has made. Ackley will put it up in the air to left field, this time well in the ballpark. Reimold still has to drift back on it and puts it away. So a 1-2-3 inning. We've completed 2 in the rubber match of this set. 1-1. Has won 500 for being selected, 500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Play baseball buck scratch-offs today and win up to $50,000 instantly. Learn more at mdlottery.com/baseball. Ezekiel, that is one of the great traditional names coming out of the biblical times. Babylonia.
Yeah. Michael is too.
It's true.
Yeah.
Absolutely true. Dario Alvarez getting the start in right field, and the pitch is taken for a strike. Alvarez will be followed by Reimold and Parra. Alvarez missed the series in Toronto, didn't have the necessary visa paperwork to go. Then went down to the minors and played, then called back up by the Orioles. He will chop it off his foot. He's only had 2 previous pro seasons, working his way up in those years, all the way on the Gulf Coast League to Norfolk last year. 44 games at Norfolk, where he hit .301 on the year. 0-2 count. Reimold and Parra will follow. And the breaking ball, a good one. Tied him up. 3 strikeouts for Sabathia.
Yeah, pretty good breaking ball right there. Alvarez giving up on it. Let's see where it finally ends up. Looks like it's going to break down and in off the plate. Looks like it might have been off a little bit, but the veteran pitcher gets the call there.
A walk to Reimold leading off the ball game cost Sabathia, as he would come around to score later in the inning. on a Davis base hit. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Reimold 1 for 6 here in the 3-game set. Orioles get the day off tomorrow, and then we'll have the weekend series coming up against Kansas City. Pitch will be up high. We keep reminding you of the start times on these games. Friday night will be a 7 o'clock game. Mike Wright, Danny Duffy. Fox has the Saturday game, 1 o'clock start. Chris Tillman, Johnny Cueto. And then Sunday is ESPN's game, so it's an 8 o'clock night game Sunday. Giordano Ventura will go for KC. Buck Showalter not wanting to announce the Orioles starter Sunday until after this ball game. Two-one count on Reimold. Pops it up, second base. Drew will put it away, and there are 2 down. And it's time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use O's Couch Cam. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, the Orioles would have to go back home, and where they have the 32-27 record. Kansas City Royals coming in, and then the Red Sox for 3 next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It's the homestand for the Orioles, and obviously there aren't many left. In fact, after the upcoming homestand, there'll be only one more. Last of the season. Pitch is taken inside by Parra, grounded out his first time up.
Yeah, they're going to start making the most of these last 2 homestands as well, as they're trying to battle the Red Sox, stay out of the basement. Of course, this team needs to get up over 500 to make it 4 straight winning seasons.
That one reached for. Good piece of hitting as he puts it out in no man's land for a base hit. So Parra, taking what was given, has got himself a single.
Yeah, trying to do too much with this type of breaking ball and end up rolling over the pitch. Nice job keeping that bat head through the zone and on the slider. So he's thrown a lot of them here in this inning.
So the Orioles with 2 down get a man on and get Machado to the plate. Manny grounded out his first time up. Manny here in this ballpark, couple of career home runs, 284 hitter at Yankee Stadium. Breaking ball inside to him. Another piece of baseball news today is that Bob Melvin's going to be back with the A's. Oakland signed him to a deal through 2018. That's despite the fact Oakland's probably going to finish under 500 for the first time in 4 years. 1-0 count with 2 away. Pretty good lead by Parra at first base. Tough to run on Sabathia. Only a couple of stolen bases and 4 chances against CC.
Yeah, he's really quick to home for a big guy, but he doesn't really like to pick off. So they can get out there and kind of test him, put some pressure on him a little bit.
Knee brace on the right leg doesn't appear to bother him here early in the ball game. He's making the movements he normally would with that leg. He's got that little kick where he picks that leg up working out of the stretch, and he's doing that. You can see how different, so in the size, that brace is a big one.
Yeah. Well, CC has to step up his game here now that Eovaldi's on the shelf. Kind of counting on CC come up big here down the stretch.
2-1 delivery on the way. Runner goes. That's going to go to left field to stay up. Dustin Ackley right there to put it away. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. Bottom of the 3rd, game tied.
run. Yankees with a solo shot. It's time for the Express Care Express Stat feature. Lowest earned run average in September. Active pitcher since 2013. Estrada, nice low earned run average. But there's Ubaldo. He has been rock solid, a monster. September in 2013 led to the signing here. Pitched last year. A good start in September, and the Orioles certainly hoping that he can continue that trend down the stretch, get them a little closer to 500. Express Stat by Express Care, a LifeBridge health partner. For locations, visit whywaitintheer.com.
Gregorius will take the pitch away for a ball. Gregorius, a couple of hits in 3 at-bats off Jimenez. Then Drew and Ellsbury. Post All-Star break has not been kind to the Orioles starter Jimenez, so we better hope September numbers hold up. Since the All-Star break, he's gone 3-5. ERA is almost 7. Opponent batting average jumped from 247 pre-All-Star to 293 in the so-called second half of the season. He was 7-4 at the break, 3-5 since then. So if the September numbers will hold up for him, he's got a chance to right the second half of the year. 2 ball, 1 strikeout. Gregorius has a 1 for 8 here in the series, and he will take the strike on the inside corner. Second halves have been tough for a lot of players over the years, but Gregorius certainly has found it to his liking. Settling in, putting up offensive numbers Yankees really never expected to get from him, at least not this year. That hit him. He had protection on there, though, and he will go down to first base.
I tried to bring that two-seamer back over the inside corner, at least try to open up the outside corner, but Gregorius, he doesn't flinch at all. Has an elbow pad on, and he takes it right off the elbow pad. Get himself to first base. Very happy about that after falling behind 0-2.
You can see how hard that elbow pad is. That ball ricocheted like it was coming off the bat and hit Caleb Joseph in the shin guards. Leadoff man on here in the 3rd inning. Here is Drew, the number 9 hitter. Drew's not had a hit in this series, as he's gone 0 for 5 overall. Just a 2.03 average. Much better against Jimenez in his career, 262 and a couple of home runs. Gregorius the lead at first. That's going to go to short and be a base hit. So Drew is on right up the middle. Parra will hold the runner, and the Yankees get the first 2 on here in the 3rd inning. Sunday's game at Oriole Park against the Royals moved from the original 1:35 to 8:05 with the ESPN national broadcast. And you can see the Orioles under the lights Sunday night, rematch of the ALCS last year. Tickets, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. And for exchange information, same locations, Orioles.com. Orioles will play for the bunt here with Ellsbury up. Ellsbury flied out to left field his first time up. 2 on, nobody out. Each team with a couple of hits in the ball game. Ellsbury does not have a sacrifice this season, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah, it really is. I think very better at bunting for base hits, so there's that opportunity for him. But I think here, especially at Yankee Stadium, Joe Girardi likes to let his lefties swing it. The short porch down that right field line.
1-0 count. 2 on, nobody out. And that will be in there for a strike. Ellsbury with a 7 for 12 off Jimenez and 1 home run. Jimenez this season with runners in scoring position, opponents hitting .250 off him. He and Sabathia have almost the exact same numbers in this situation. 1-1 pitch will be fouled back. He'll get ahead of him 1-2.
Well, if you want a ground ball, you better not work up there. That two-seamer down at the bottom of the zone. Start attacking the knees or lower. Of course, the split finger will come into play a little bit better. Stakes up in the zone here. Early going to Ellsbury.
Orioles 6-9 against the Yankees on the year with the victory last night here. Only the 2nd game they've won in New York this year. 2-7. 1-2 delivery. Turns on another one and foul. Deep down the line, but again, too far in front. It'll stay 1-2. Kobe Ellsbury here at home, 273, 267 on the road. Not much difference. Ignoring home runs, 3 here, 4 away. 1-2 delivery again, and that one fought off. He's fouling them all over the place here, holding the count at 1-2.
He's giving them a pretty good chance to foul some off. Every pitch up around belt high right now from Ubaldo. These are those counts that have given the Orioles fits all season long. Nice job getting ahead. Find a way to put a hitter away.
Here's the 1-2 delivery a third time. How did he get that one? That ball was almost going to be bounced. And I think he hit it before it hit the plate.
Yeah, this is a real good split finger. This is what happens. You start protecting with 2 strikes. So that swing not even close to the previous 2 or 3 rips with Ubaldo ahead in the count. So nice job there, dropping the splitty at the bottom of the zone.
Gregorius and Drew their leads at second and first. Again, the 1-2 delivery. Broken back ground ball. It'll go to short. Bobbled. And everybody, did he get him? Got him at second base. Hardy, after he had bobbled it, found a way to get the glove flip to Jonathan Schoop and preserve an out at second.
A great recovery right there from J.J. Hardy. Very rarely, if ever, do you see him get in between or bobble a ball, but understanding the speed, so he's aggressive right off contact. Ball hits the lip of the grass and dirt, but look at the concentration. Sticking with the ball, little glove flip. Here you go, Schoop. Schoop beyond the bag. Actually catches it between the legs. Pretty acrobatic play right there by the Keystone combination for the Orioles. Nice little backhand flip, and Schoop catching it between the legs to get the force out at second and keep that double play in order.
It's the Orioles version of Cirque du Soleil right there. But they get the out. Now there are runners at first and third. Gregorius moves up to third base. Ellsbury on the fielder's choice at first. And that will bring Headley to the plate. A strikeout victim his first time up. 3-14 with runners in scoring position for Headley. Ball game tied at 1 infield at double play depth. Runner fakes a go at first. Swung on and missed by Headley. He got fooled on that. Didn't really get a good cut. 0-1. Chase Headley has made a real difference for this team at the plate and at third base.
This team is filled with quality veteran players. Count on the veterans, but this year they've had to reach down into the minor leagues and actually a lot of production there. Bird, great example. Share went down, has filled in nicely both offensively and defensively over there at first.
As Gregorius at third, Ellsbury's faked the go at first. He's got 17 stolen, and there he goes. Pitch out almost. Throw by Joseph. Not going to get him, and the runner will stay at third. Had that one, a fastball away. Good pitch to throw on, but a big jump for Ellsbury.
Well, he timed that perfectly. Actually got himself a little rhythm in his lead at first base, and Ubaldo really tried to be quick. Once he came set, he was gone, and Ellsbury timed him perfectly. Great jump at first. Caleb and Ubaldo did all they could, but speed wins this one. Off and running, gets a little momentum in the direction of second base. Quick glance in, and nice try to put the tag down there by J.J. Hardy, stepping in front of the base. Can't quite get the jersey with the glove.
18 stolen bases, takes away the double play against Jimenez now. Base stealers are 20 for 23 this year. And now a base hit could drive in 2. 1-1 delivery to Headley. Swing and a miss upstairs on that one. And a 1-ball 2-strike count. So big at bat here in the third inning. Headley, then Beltran due up. And the Yankees trying to get a base hit and a couple of RBIs. The Oriole outfield pretty deep all the way around. 1-2 delivery on the way, and Headley will take it. Jimenez tried again to get him to go after one a little bit higher that time. 2-2.
Yeah, I like that. I'll try to expand the zone a little bit, keep it close enough to where it's enticing, and maybe get a 2-strike swing and miss up at the zone. But certainly that split finger in his back pocket, and it has been sharp tonight.
7 of his 10 home runs have come from this side of the plate for the switch hitting Headley. Check swing, got him on the inside corner. A called third strike and a big K for Jimenez.
That is a nasty two-seam fastball where this one's starting out. Right at the quad, and look at the movement running back all over the inner third. We cannot believe this fastball moved that much. Great pitch. Nice job, Caleb Joseph on the end, locking it up.
So 2 down, and here is Beltran, who delivered a home run in the first inning, 15th of the year. He will take the pitch on the inside corner for a strike. So a chance to get out of it for Ubaldo Jimenez if he can get Beltran out of there. Beltran .233 in these situations this year. And goes to center. Parra can't get it. Skip hop. Throw's going to come all the way through to the plate. Ball gets away. Runner will go to second. A 2 RBI base hit for Beltran, and the Yankees have a 3-1 lead. There'll be an error charge on the throw, allowing the runner to move up.
Now for a second there, like Parra had a nice jump on the line drive off the bat of Beltran. A swing as the breaking ball stays in the middle of the plate, and he takes it right back through the middle. A short hop, but it gets stuck in the glove. Has to go in there a few times to get the handle. And as he fires it home, a little timing with Ellsbury and the ball shields Caleb Joseph. Ball gets away. Beltran on second base.
Single, 2 RBIs on it. So Beltran, a big night. That's 3 runs batted in. That ball will be popped up by McCann back over the screen. Beltran now has 10 runs batted in against the Orioles this year in the 16 games they've played. They're going to charge the error on Caleb Joseph for not handling the ball at the plate. 0-1 count, 2 down. Big 2-out RBI. Like I said, Caleb got kind of caught up with the runner coming in front of him with the ball on the other side of the runner. Here's the 0-1 delivery and the pitch outside. McCann flied out to center field his first time up. Beltran comes up with a very big hit for the Yankees. He's now got 53 RBIs this year. 1-1 delivery on the way. McCann on the off-speed pitch fooled. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
I think when Parra was out trying to find the handle on that ball in his glove, Caleb may have just assumed that he was going to eat the ball. He unleashed one. Caleb was behind home. And a better chance out in front.
Got one he could go after there. Fouled it right straight back. Ball and 2 strikes. 3 runs, 3 hits for the Yankees. Homer by Beltran in the first inning. His 2 RBI single here in the third. There he is at second base. With 2 down, big secondary lead for him. Hardy's not going to close in. Stays back on the outfield grass. And then has the 1-2 delivery. Up. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Yankees are going to continue their homestand. They're 3-2. 10-game homestand. Big series coming up. Toronto. 4 games starting tomorrow. Yankees come into this a game and a half behind the Blue Jays for the division lead. Yankees are the first wild card team at the moment. But it's the division championship obviously thereafter. McCann asking for timeout here. He and Jimenez go back and forth on this 2-2 count. Got a good one down low. That'll be 4 strikeouts for Jimenez, but the Yankees will come away with a big inning on the Beltran base hit and lead it 3-1. Brought to you by Miller Lite. 3-3-0 for the Yankees. 1-2-1 for the Orioles. CC Sabathia has a walk and 3 strikeouts through 3. Jimenez no walks and 4 strikeouts in the ball game. Orioles bat here in the 4th inning. Davis, Scope, and Joseph. Chris delivered an RBI base hit, bringing Reimold home in the 1st inning. 8-game hit streak for him. 3 hits, 7 at bats in this 3-game set. Overall, he's now had 13 RBIs against the Yankees this year in the 16 games. Pitch to Davis, and Sabathia will come inside for a ball. All the discussion about where will Chris be next year. The free agents of the Orioles: Davis, Wieters, Chen, Pierce, O'Day, Parra. Pitch taken for a strike. A lot of decisions the Orioles are going to have to make in the offseason, and right at the top of the list is the man at the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Started to reach on an off-speed pitch, held up on it, and it was away. 2-1.
Nice take right there. Sees the ball well. He is a very dangerous all-around hitter. He'll take his walks. He's leading the team in walks this season.
Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way, going for the long ball right there. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Sabathia working him inside, outside. Leading the league with 41 home runs. Cruz still not playing with Seattle. 2-2 delivery on the way, and a breaking ball tapped foul. Our Maryland Live Casino inside the numbers, homer wise.
Yeah, most home runs since 2012. Well, Chris Davis on top of this list with 153. Of course, that franchise record of 53 back in 2013. And some pretty good hitters there. Encarnacion, Cabrera, Cruz, Mike Trout, Davis, better than all of those guys, and a couple MVPs on that list as well.
2-2 delivery on the way to him. He's 2 home runs ahead of Nelson Cruz in the American League. I saw today a note: if he wins the home run race in the American League, he will be the first player in franchise history to lead the American League in home runs more than once, and that includes the time the franchise was the St. Louis Browns. Whoa! Hello.
Wow.
Where's Bob Uecker when you need him? Just a little bit inside.
Yeah, I'll say. Chris Davis smiling about it, but this is head high. Not a good pitch. Of course, Orioles fans remember Nick Markakis getting hit on the thumb and missing the whole year in the postseason. This isn't a very smart thing to do.
Wow. 3 ball, 2 strike count. And the breaking ball, he'll walk it. That's a leadoff walk. The Orioles have had 2 of those off Sabathia. Register now for the Longevity Foundation's Breathe Deep Baltimore 5K walk to raise funds and awareness for lung cancer, honoring the late Public Relations Director Monica Pence Barlow of the Orioles. It's October 3 at Oriole Park. And you can register or get more information by going to Orioles.com/longevity. 2 walks, both leadoff walks. The other one scored. Reimold in the first. Jonathan Scope takes the pitch in there for a ball. Strikeout victim, his first time up. 0 for 4, lifetime off Sabathia. Davis short lead at first. The 0-1 to Scope. Broken bat, base hit into left field. Shattered that one. The Orioles get 2 on. So 2 on and nobody out to start the 4th inning.
Jonathan Scope showing his strength here. Inside fastball. Bat breaks in half. The knob in his hand. Through the 5-6 hole. Clutch base hit.
See what the Orioles can do with this one. 2 on, nobody out. Orioles 1 for 2 in these situations so far, and one of the best they've had in these situations on the year. Caleb Joseph. Joseph, a strikeout victim, his first time to the plate. Caleb not only has the great numbers against the Yankees, he's also been outstanding at .364 with runners in scoring position. Let's see if he can do it here. Yankees corners move in off the grass. No bunt there, and it's fouled right straight back.
Great pass right there from Caleb Joseph. Big reason why. That swing. Leads with the hands, keeps the bat head through the strike zone as long as possible, and working up the middle and the other way. Stay on his swing, and he's had great consistency all year long offensively for this team.
Each team 3 hits in the ball game. Orioles trying to come right back after the Yankees got 2 in the last half inning. Off first and second. Here's the 0-1 off the fists and back, and Sabathia gets ahead on the count 0-2. Mentioned his number, much like Jimenez, 258 with runners in scoring position. His numbers this year have climbed up with each time through the lineup. The Orioles going through it the second time. 256 the first time through, 313 second time through the lineup, and 340 the third time through. 0-2 count here. That's right where the glove was, and that will be strikeout number 4.
A good changeup after a hard fastball up and in. Fades this one away at 84 miles an hour. Joseph showing the frustration right there. Out in front, chasing it off the plate.
Steve Pearce denied perhaps a home run. Dustin Ackley in left field went up to the top of the wall, hauled in a fly ball in the second inning. Now he's up with 2 on and 1 out. Pearce will take a strike. E2's done well in these situations. 277. He's been in and out of the lineup, and so he's not had the opportunities. 47 at bats with runners in scoring position. Orioles have had Chris Davis, Adam Jones at the top in that regard. 115 for Adam, 113 at bats, runners in scoring position for Chris. Fastball just miss inside, 91 miles an hour, 1-1.
This is what Sabathia is going to have to do if he does want to step up and pitch in the postseason, potentially with the Yankees. Command of all of his pitches and be fearless pitching inside. Does a nice job pitching into the right-handed hitters. Trying to move their feet, open up that outside corners, mixed in some sliders, and of course the changeup's starting to come into play as well.
Went back outside and missed. Leadoff walk to Davis. He's at second. Jonathan Scope base hit. He's at first. Orioles trailing by a score of 3-1. A chance to get him back. And a 2-ball 1-strike count on Pearce. Sabathia's 2-1 delivery fouled off down the third base side, and McCann will come out in a hurry after that pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Maybe switching up signs. A lot of times runners at second base, if it's a prolonged at bat, catcher will just do it just because of general purpose. He does not want the runner at second base to pick up what they're using for signals.
2-2. Only 1 away. A lot of pitches being thrown by both starters. Pearce waiting on it, and he'll put it up in the air to left field. Dustin Ackley again on the warning track. Runner's tag. Throw will come to second. Moving up will be Davis to third base. Pearce retired, and there are 2 down. Get in on the baseball action with Masson. Text the word Orioles to 29292 for team alerts. Chances you have to win. There are some exclusive prizes up all season long, including meet and greets with your favorite players. Again, that's Orioles 29292 for those alerts you can't miss. So J.J. Hardy flied out his first time up. Davis now at third base. Jonathan Scope on at first. And Hardy looking for the big hit. 262 on the year in these situations. Sabathia's delivery to him, a breaking ball at 80. It's in there for a strike.
It would have been nice if Jonathan Scope had tagged up along with Chris Davis, but he was reading it halfway, three-quarters of the way down first base, so he did not have an opportunity to double tag.
A one delivery on the way. Sabathia will miss down low with it, and the 1-1 strike count. Sabathia's had big numbers in this ballpark. 45 and 22 his record here at Yankee Stadium. 1-1 delivery. Hardy to the hole. Gregorius got to go to first with the arm and gets it. Good defensive play, saves a run. No runs, one hit, no errors. Two are left on base. 3-1 Yankees. Book your low fare now at Southwest.com and by PNC Bank for the Achiever in you. Every time you come to Yankee Stadium, right outside, there'll be hundreds of people taking that picture. Every game here, folks, before and after the game, outside the big entranceway. 3-1 lead, bottom half of the fourth inning. Yankees have A-Rod, Bird, and Ackley due up. Rodriguez, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Carries a .302 lifetime average against the Orioles. Ground ball, first pitch. Manny Machado, plenty of time. In the dirt. Good pick made by Pierce. Well, races indeed are on in our Major League Notebook. The Mets have won 5 straight against the Nationals. They are seeking tonight a 3-game road sweep. Haven't done that since 2008. The Blue Jays are playing tonight. Hutchison going against Kelly in Boston. Jays lead the series 8-7 on the year. Toronto will begin that 4-game stand here in New York tomorrow night. And the Astros are in danger of losing first place. If Texas wins and Houston loses, they will share in a first place tie after tonight's ball games. We'll see. Texas late game playing at Seattle. Houston at Oakland.
Houston's lost a couple in a row.
Yep. Pitch outside for a ball. The big question whether or not the Cubs, who are pretty well embedded in a playoff spot as a wild card team, could overtake the Cardinals. They took a negative run on that one today. They had a lead. Cardinals came back and won it 4-3 against the Cubs. Bird at the plate, grounded out his first time up. He's 1 for 8 in the series. He'll go after a high heater upstairs, and that's going to be strikeout number 5 for Jimenez.
Expand the zone. Expand it with a split finger down at the bottom, or ride the heater to the top. Caleb makes the call, and it works out, getting Bird for strike 3, the second out of the inning.
I'll bring up Dustin Ackley. Flying out to left field his first time up. He will take the pitch at the knees for a strike. Ackley and then Gregorius for the Yankees. And another strike to him. Jimenez throwing some strikes.
I'd like to see him aggressive in the zone. Great movement on all of his pitches.
That one he will bounce. Dustin Ackley coming off the bench. Limited playing time for him with the Yankees. Another veteran player. And on the inside corner for a strike. Big inning right there for the ball to Jimenez. He retires the side in order, and he's got 6 strikeouts in the ball game. Yankees have a 3-1 lead. Last year, already outdone this year. 16 players have hit 30 or more this season, and you see the players, including Manny Machado, who have a very good chance to get to 30 and more with a good deal a month left in the year. Last season, the total 4,186. Right now, 4,144. If the home run rate continues, players could reach last year's totals before this weekend's games. And so we're going to see a lot more home runs, probably percentage-wise, than last year. And Manny, a part of that, as he goes for 30-plus. So the home runs are up. Alvarez is too. And he will take the pitch from Sabathia for a ball.
I think the offense has kind of been trending down for a number of years. So home run hitters starting to get back in vogue.
Runs per game have stayed about the same. That'll be foul back. 1 ball, 1 strike count. 3-3-0 for the Yankees. 1-3-1 for the Orioles. We're in the 5th inning. Beltran the night so far, 3 RBIs, including a home run. Orioles, Chris Davis RBI first inning.
And arguably responsible for that Orioles first run.
Yeah.
Ball dropped in front of him in right field.
Beltran had a chance to make what looked like a catch on a playable ball, but was not close. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Yankee bullpen already exercising, literally. Sabathia working here in the 5th inning and probably won't go much beyond, if at all. This is his first start coming off the DL. Good gas on that. That's where he's been with the fastball, 90 to 92.
Alvarez getting a little bit big on that heater. Now always considered a free swinger. One of the things they've been tentative about with Alvarez because his low walk rate is up there in hacks.
2-2 delivery to him. Just misses. So the count worked to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Made his debut against Texas, 28th of August. He hit .275. 16 home runs with Norfolk this year. 24 doubles. 3-2 delivery on the way, and he walked it. Amazing. The Orioles have had 3 leadoff walks now in this ball game. There's the 3rd. Show your orange and black as the Birds host the Red Sox at Camden Yards for the final time in this season with a 3-game midweek series, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. And on Tuesday, it's Ollie's Bargain Night presented by Ollie's Bargain Outlet. Upper reserves only $10. Good seats remain. You can get yours at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Sabathia 3 walks, and they all have been leadoff. First one, Reimold scored in the 1st inning. And they'll check with the bullpen now to get somebody going. And they'll go out and draw time for the bullpen as McCann heads out to the mound. And Warren. Who would start if the Yankees ended up taking the division and went into a 1st round series? It's a good question. Tanaka. Maybe Severino, their youngster. Maybe Sabathia. Pineda. That ball's going to be a base hit into right field. Went up and got that one. And the Orioles again with base runners. 5th inning, first 2 on, and nobody out. And Sabathia maybe at the end of the rope in this one.
Nice piece of hitting right there by Nolan Reimold. Big hole opened up after that lead up off walk, and looks like that swing was intended to go over there.
Well, the Orioles, another real good chance. First 2 on in the 4th inning. They did not score. Now try it again here. They will play for the bunt with Parra up. He has a base hit, and he is grounded out. Gerardo Parra will have Headley with that 45-degree position at 3rd base. Pitch on the way, he does square, and he bunts it down to 3rd. Only play is going to be at 1st. Parra, real good sacrifice. Over to Drew covering, and the Orioles get 2 in scoring position with 1 out.
Executed perfectly right there by Parra. You want the 3rd baseman to field this ball. A lot of times it does not matter about the pace as long as the direction is right. Here gets the bat head out, creates that angle. No chance for Sabathia. So Headley has to take the out at 1st base, and Orioles 2 runners in scoring position.
2nd sacrifice for Parra, and the chance goes to Manny Machado. Potential tying runs now on base. Alvarez at 3rd, and Reimold on at 2nd. Breaking ball will be outside. Manny Machado is grounded out, flied out in the game. Big chance for Manny. Another big hit situation in the game. A lot of base runners have been on for both ball clubs. Sabathia with a 1-0 delivery. Fastball will be taken away. And Chris Davis waiting on deck. The return of Sabathia has been so far a mixed bag. Some strikeouts, 3 walks. Ending will be determined perhaps by this inning. 2-0 delivery on the way. Machado takes it, striking the outside corner, not giving in. Down low.
Well, he's got that open base, and I'd be a little careful with Chris Davis waiting in the wings, but baseball-wise, the open base, big-time situation here. Just be careful, pitching around the perimeter, and hope to get ahead by a swing and a miss, or maybe some weak contact.
2-1 delivery on the way. Machado swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Located the first strike perfectly. This one elevated a little bit. Looks good to Manny Machado. Takes a healthy cut, but the count's evened up 2-2.
9 for 29 off Sabathia with a home run. Runners off second and third. 2-2 delivery. Machado fouls it off. That one rode in on the fists on him, and the count will stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And he has dropped out of some of the top 10 categories he was in offensively in the American League. Still up there in hits, though, where he is 6th. No longer in the top 10 in runs scored or in batting average. Sabathia with a 2-2 count. And a timeout asked for by Machado. Base runners. Alvarez, Reimold. McCann having trouble with the signs here, so he'll go out.
Doesn't seem like a lot of conviction here. 2-2 count. Both unsure about what they want to throw. Taking a little too much time. Manny steps out. Now McCann has to make a mound visit. Make sure they're on the same page.
Only one away. 2-2 delivery set up outside and fouled off. McCann moved way out. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Trying to get Manny to go after a pitch maybe outside the strike zone again.
Yeah, seems like Love setting it up with the hard fastball up and in. Goes with the changeup down and away. McCann jumping out there late.
7th pitch of the at bat. Sabathia Machado locked in. 2-2 delivery. Got him on a swinging strike, and again away.
Back-to-back changeups, and quality changeups at that. This one a little bit lower. Nice late fade. Man, he had a great at bat going there. Nice little battle here, but Sabathia wins in a clutch situation.
So now 2 down, and another big matchup. Here's Chris Davis. Single and an RBI. He has drawn a walk. 6 for 25 off Sabathia. Base hit ties the ball game up. Left-hander's delivery. Trying to tie up those hands inside on the at-bats that Chris has had, and starts him again there.
That fastball, the two-seamer, works itself in off the plate in there, but Davis looking on that inner third.
Chris with the RBI in the game, up to 103. Second to Josh Donaldson. Andres Morales has now joined the 100 group. He's got 101 RBIs. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Worked him outside. He's been doing that all night, inside, outside, moving the ball around. If he throws a strike here, he's not a veteran pitcher.
Working hard, the big man working hard. Hat soaked.
A waterfall off the rim. 0-2 count. Pitch to Davis, way outside. Tag put on just in case. Nope. Jordan Baker down to third. Probably his last batter. And Sabathia knows that, trying to get through the 5th inning. We can be the pitcher of record, more importantly keep the lead. That is some perspiring right there.
Yes, it is.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down. 1-2 delivery on the way. Hit him right in the back. Not what he wanted to do. And the Orioles have loaded him up. So Sabathia got the count where he wanted it. Couldn't get him, and that's going to be it. He will leave this ball game without a chance to win it.
Well, threw one over his head, and this is a situation where you have an open base, and it doesn't matter if he hits him. Yeah, you show the frustration, but back in the 1st inning, but bases loaded now. Look at his pitching line, and it's time for AT&T call to the bullpen. AT&T, proud partner of the Baltimore Orioles. AT&T mobilizing your world. We're Adam Warren coming out of the Yankees bullpen. Fastball 46% of the time, works in the low to mid 90s with the heater. Breaking ball has a slider and curve, and it's a straight change. With a changeup, 38 games this year, but he has made 14 starts when Nova was on the DL. He filled in nicely and then slid back into the bullpen, holding opponents to a .235 batting average, 9 home runs given up on the year.
So the Orioles have loaded the bases up. 5th inning, 2 down. Jonathan Schoop. And the first pitch will be taken up high for a ball. Schoop is 0 for 2 in the only times he has faced Warren. 3rd time out for Warren against the Orioles. Both other occasions were as a starter. 5 runs, 13 hits, and 9 in the 3rd innings. The Orioles against Warren. A walk to Alvarez started the inning. The single by Reimold. They were sacrificed by Parra, the 2nd and 3rd. Machado struck out, and Davis hit by a pitch. 1-0 delivery. Schoop down to 3rd, gloved, force out, gets away. 1 run is scored, 2nd run going to try. Here's the throw coming into the plate, not in time. Alvarez and Reimold both scored. Headley just barely caught that ball, and when he went to throw it, he did not put his arm behind it.
Now Orioles catch a break here. Shoddy defense from the Yankees, and a great opportunity for the Yankees to get out of this inning. Warren making a good pitch. Schoop squaring it up, but yeah, Warren not liking the way the defense helped him here. Take a look at Headley catching the ball deep. A little surprised he had it at first, and then just kind of guides it over to second base. And Drew has had some problems handling the baseball as well. lets it get by, and 2-run score. Tie game. Take a look at the throw here, reaching down, and that ball should have been caught. Drew missing another.
Wow. Little bouncer back out in front. Warren will make the play, and that's a bad throw, but handled at first base by Bird. So Scope is giving credit for a fielder's choice. The error charged on Drew at second base, allowing both runs to score. Tie game.
Out here, Norfolk, of course, clinching their division. First time they've done that since 2005. They got a 5-game series against Columbus. Columbus leading 5-0 after the 8th inning. Terry Doyle had the start, lasting 4 2/3, giving up the 5 earned runs. And game 1 there at Bowie. Bowie leads 7-0 in the 3rd inning. Glenn Davis 1-for-1 with the double and a couple RBIs. Both series are best of 5.
Well, this ball game's tied up. Jonathan Scope reaching on the fielder's choice. He did not get an RBI. The 2 runs are unearned. Error charge to Drew, allowing both runs to score for not handling that ball at second base. So again, a leadoff walk that Sabathia gave up scored. 2 of the 3 leadoff walks he surrendered came across the plate, and the Orioles have tied it up at 3-3. Gregorius will nub that one foul. He was hit by a pitch scored in the 3rd inning. Gregorius, Drew, and then Ellsbury top of the order. Jimenez has held him to the 3 runs on 3 hits. Try and continue to do so here as the Orioles try and get to that magic number of 4 runs scored, which has been their magic number this year for winning ball games. 1 ball, 2 strike count.
Waldo's been very aggressive once again, getting ahead of a Yankee hitter.
1-2 delivery, and he just able to get the bat out, foul that one back, holds the count at 1-2. Jimenez, pitch count pretty good, largely because of the 4th inning. We had a good quick one. That one will be foul back and out of play. Gregorius, 1 hit, 8 at bats here in this series against Jimenez, 2 for 3. Pretty good battles with a 2-1 Orioles win last night. Ooh. That'll go to short, played by Hardy, and on the fly. That one had a little spin on it, didn't it? Wow. Hey, the Orioles Yankees going to close out the regular season. Fan Appreciation Weekend starts October 2. Events include postgame fireworks presented by Johns Hopkins Medicine on Friday. Orioles knit bomber hats, first 20,000 15 and over Saturday. Steve Pierce fan choice bobbleheads, AT&T coming up Sunday. tickets, Orioles.com, 888-848-BIRD. First ball hitting is Drew to left field. Reimold there puts it away in fair territory. So again, a couple of quick outs here in the 5th inning.
Well, that can happen with Ubaldo. He's pounding the strike zone with all of his pitches. You know, he can be dominant, and he can get some early outs. Hitters get a little bit more aggressive. I think a lot of teams just kind of wait Ubaldo out and see if he's got his command. Because, of course, in his last start, winning the ball game, had 6 walks in that game. He was very careful with the top of that lineup in Toronto.
2 down, showing bunt, taking a pitch. Leadoff batter, Jacoby Ellsbury. He's flied out, reached on a fielder's choice, stole a base, which set up RBI chance that Beltran took care of with the 2 RBI single. 2-0 count on Ellsbury. Bottom of the 5th inning, 3-3 ball game. Day off tomorrow. Orioles back home at Camden Yards Friday night. Kansas City, 6:30 O's extra, 7 o'clock for the game. Into the seats. 2-1. Toronto's got a lead on Boston early in their game, 4-1, 4th inning. Or Boston leads, sorry. Boston leads Toronto 4-1 in the 4th. The Yankees game and a half behind the Blue Jays, who come in here tomorrow night. 2 ball, 2 strike count. I think one of the reasons the Yankees aren't drawing a lot of big crowds right now and why the publicity on them is down is just what you saw happen in that last half inning. The Yankees have played some sloppy ball at time, and the fans don't like it. It's not been exciting. The team doesn't have a real rhythm to it. It's not got the buzz that most Yankee teams have in this city, and the fans are just kind of blah about it.
They've lost a lot of their historied players here of the last few years, with Derek Jeter, of course, retiring.
Swing and a miss. Jimenez, a great pitch away. He's got 7 strikeouts, retires the side in order, and that's 7 in a row. He's set down in the ball game. It's tied 3-3.
After a leadoff walk for Nolan Reimold. Chris Davis picking up another RBI, dropping it in front of Carlos Beltran. And Orioles have the early lead, but in the bottom of the 1st, Carlos Beltran makes up for that miscue out in right field with a solo shot to tie it up. And oh my goodness, did the Orioles finally catch a break? Headley spikes one to Drew. He can't come up with it. Both Alvarez and Reimold score, and the Orioles tie it up. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
Steve Pearce will take the first pitch for a strike as the Orioles bat in the 6th inning. Or Caleb Joseph. Nope, Steve Pearce. Pearce has flied out twice, both to left field, once probably robbed of a home run. And that ball hit off the bat and hit McCann. 0-2 count. So Warren came on. Should have gotten out of the inning, leaving the base runners on, didn't. So Sabathia gets charged with the 3 runs, 1 earned on 4 hits in 4 2/3 innings. Now the Orioles will try and take further advantage of the big error, get a lead in this ball game. Rainmaker, second base. Drew. And the fans give him a Bronx cheer. That's how bad it is. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. 1 down in the 6th. Hardy flied out, grounded out. Warren's pitch is in there for a strike. So for the Yankees, ball game is now in the hands of the bullpen. Hardy with a 4 for 8 off Warren. 0-1 pitch to him. JJ takes it down low.
The slider right there. Does have a real good breaking ball in that slider. Throws it hard, 85 to about 90 miles an hour. That pitch just missing. Second offering.
1-1 delivery on the way to him, and that'll be a strike called on the high strike. And it goes to 1-2. Orioles road record 28-45. They are 13th in average on the road, 10th in runs, 3rd in home runs, 6th in ERA. 1-2 pitch on the way, and that'll be foul back. So Hardy holds the count at a ball and 2 strikes. Showalter's team 7.5 off the second wild card spot, 13 off the division. Right now the look is, can we get to 500 at 66 and 72. 1-2 pitch on the way to Hardy. Again up, and he fouls it straight back.
Well, I think it would be really important for this team to get back at 500 and go into the offseason. Of course, they're not eliminated from the postseason, and there's still an outside chance if they can get on a nice little roll. But in the event that they don't make it to the postseason, it would be nice to get up over 500 going into the offseason.
Yeah.
A little bit of feel of a positive, something positive from this season.
Hardy's pitch away, 2-ball, 2-strike count. JJ, one of the players who will be back. Adam Jones, Hardy, Jimenez, all have signed for the team next year. Combined almost $42 million among those 3 players. 2-2 down the line, right field, and it will be a foul ball. Interesting article in SB Nation today about a look ahead to next season. Players who will be here, who won't be. It's 6 pre-arbitration players: Gosman, Scope, Joseph, Rowe, McFarland, and Paredes. How many of those will offers be made to? 2-2 delivery on the way, and got him. So Warren will pick up the strikeout in the second out of the inning.
Mixed it up every pitch to J.J. Hardy. J worked him, but it's finished off on the inside changeup. Bottom of the zone. J.J. not liking the height of that pitch, but call goes in Warren's favor.
So 2 down. Dario Alvarez. Walk. One of the unearned runs scoring in the Orioles' 2-run 5th inning. He had reached on a leadoff walk. He has also struck out. Alvarez, as we mentioned, not a young player, 26 years old, but young in terms of professional baseball, 3rd year. He'll foul that one back into the screen. From Cuba, playing in his 5th game with the Orioles. picked up 3 hits in 13 at bats.
The All-Star team this year in AAA. Talked about his numbers. 16 home runs in the full season.
Warren with a 1-1 delivery to him. Alvarez a breaking ball. Breaks back in over the corner. And a 1-ball 2-strike count. So Warren being asked probably for a little depth here out of the bullpen. With Sabathia going only 4 2/3. That ball to first, right at Bird, the first baseman. So a 1-2-3 inning here in the 6th. We go to the bottom half of it, tied at 3. Maryland Fire Chiefs and Maryland State Firemen's Associations. Email mdfirevolunteer@gmail.com to volunteer with your local fire, rescue, and EMS. Gary Thorne, Mike Bordick here in New York. Final game of the season for the Orioles in the Big Apple. And here in the Bronx, 3-3 ball game. There's your line as we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. And for Jimenez, he'll face the middle part of this order again. Pitch taken away. Chase Headley in the number 2 hole has struck out twice. Jimenez has not walked a batter, and he has struck out 7.
Throwing the ball very well right now. We talked about, especially through the first 5 innings, ability to command all of his pitches. Really aggressive in the strike zone. 77 pitches to this point.
Goes from the 6 walks against Toronto in 5 2/3 to none so far tonight. Parra. He's got it, and that'll take care of Headley. 1 away. On Sunday, the Oriole Advocates will hold their cardboard to leather collection presented by Legg Mason at Oriole Park. Fans are encouraged to bring any new or slightly used baseball or softball equipment, and you can leave it at any gate entrance to the ballpark for the night game against the Royals. That's on Sunday night. It'll be donated to youth in developing countries, so we hope you'll join in. Beltran 3 RBI ball game, a homer and a single. Pitch for a strike. Red Sox adding to their lead, 5-1 over Toronto. Still batting in the 4th inning. Dustin Pedroia is back in the lineup for Boston. 7 weeks out. Down to first, fair ball right behind the bag. Taken there by Pierce, and there are 2 down.
Take a look at Ubaldo Jimenez enjoying the highest average run support starters this season at 5.24. Gonzalez right behind him at 4.98. You see Tillman there. Kevin Gausman at 2.39. He got his 2 runs in last night's ball game.
Yeah.
Ubaldo hoping for a few more.
You know, Gonzalez hoping to get back. One of the reasons that Buck Showalter's held up on the starter for Sunday's game. Pitch will be taken inside for a ball. McCann has struck out and flied out in the series now. 1 hit, 5 at bats for the Yankee catcher. Jimenez has gotten more efficient as the ball game has moved along. Up in the air to center. Parra. And that's 10 in a row retired by Jimenez through the middle of this ball game. Now as the do-ups in a tie game, it'll be Raimel, Parra, and Manny Machado. Light.
Yankees threatening Ellsbury up. Good speed. And it's a chopper. JJ coming in to try to cut down that speed, but the ball kicks up. He stays with it, though. Look at the concentration as he goes down. And the backhand flip with the glove. But take a look at Jonathan Scope. He goes down with the bare hand to make the play and backs it up with the glove between the legs. More look here. Kicks off the hip. J.J. Hardy, the nice concentration. A little flip there, hoping Scope's ready for this one, and he is. Time out there at second base. The Orioles double play combination.
I guess as you're going to see that a few times on replays. What do you think?
Yeah, that's pretty
good. Here's Nolan Raimel. Warren. 1 out. Raimel, the base hit and a walk. Couple of runs scored in the ball game for the Orioles. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 7th inning. This ball game a whole lot like last night. Went into the 9th inning tied when Chris Davis led off the top of the inning with a home run to win it for the Orioles, with Zach Britton coming on to retire the Yankees in order in the bottom of the 9th. And now we're 3-3 here in the 7th inning. Parra, base hit, a sacrifice, and he has grounded out. And Headley in at third base. And Parra taking down low for a ball. Yankees 33-25 against the East, winning records against the Orioles, Boston, Tampa Bay, but a 4-8 record against Toronto. And that's there at the knees for a strike. Orioles have been playing .500 baseball against the opponents in the division. They are 31-30 coming into this game. 1-1 delivery by Warren. 95 inside for a ball.
Warren might be the first arm that Eovaldi or CC Sabathia have problems making it into the postseason. If the Yankees do make it there, Warren could be that guy that steps in and gets the starting job.
Bunted. Foul. So Parra will come back with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. That's interesting. Both the Yankees and Toronto battling for the division lead are both having to make adjustments in their starting rotation and not quite sure where the rotation stands.
Yeah, they don't need that.
Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, injuries all year long with his starters. Toronto now with Burley hurting. Whether or not he'll be able to stay in remains in question. 2-2 delivery on the way. Protecting. Boston's added another run, 6-1 now against Toronto. The Orioles against the East, they have a 9-4 record against the Red Sox, 10-8 against Tampa Bay, and then the Yankees 6-9, same with Toronto. Two balls, two strikes. Parra again reaching and protecting, fouls it back and holds the count at 2-2.
Fouling off some tough pitches right here. Very good with the two strikes, protecting that outside corner. Plenty quick enough on the inner third, so you fight him off until a mistake is potentially made.
Ground ball towards the hole. Drew, nice play. Tough spin, 360, finds Bird and gets the out.
Pretty good anticipation on this play after working away on Parra. Gonna be ready for the inside pitch. Gets a good first step, and then the nice athletic play on the pirouette. Nice angle to that baseball, catching it deep on the grass. Spins around, does finally get a handle of the baseball, and able to make a nice off-balance throw.
Seventh inning, 2 down, nobody on. Manny Machado will foul that one away. Machado 7 for 10 against Warren. Can't do much better than that.
Oh, sees it well.
0-1 count. Two away, nobody on. Machado down the line. That's going to fall in for a base hit. All the way to the wall. Beltran will play it off the wall, and Machado will go in with a double. So Manny on with the potential go-ahead run here in the 7th inning with 2 down.
29th double of the year for Manny Machado. Beautiful piece of hitting there.
Just outside the top 10 in doubles. Brantley leads. Michael Brantley with the Indians at 42. 2 away. So can Chris Davis get another one? We showed you at the top of our broadcast, Chris has been one of the best. He's not going to get a chance here. Game winning, game tying RBIs. He is 2nd in go ahead RBIs and 5th in game winning. Jonathan Scope will have to supply the numbers, though, as Davis will draw the intentional pass.
I saw Adam Jones over there giving Jonathan Scope some words of encouragement. Getting fired up.
This is only the 4th intentional pass Davis has had this year. Showalter was talking about that the other day. He was talking about how he tries to keep somebody behind Davis who's hot, so that Davis is going to get pitched to him. Buck said, I can't believe, said, I'm happy. I can't believe teams haven't walked Davis more intentionally than, or at least pitched around him than they have. Well, that's a credit to the other Orioles in the lineup who teams think enough of not to. Jonathan Scope, a base hit. Fielder's choice. Struck out. He hit the big ground ball where the error was committed by Drew, trying to handle a force out at second. And 2 unearned runs scored. Tied the game up. Scope goes after the first pitch that was in on him. Orioles had their chances. You see the 1 for 8 they've put up in the ball game tonight. Orioles have left 6 on base so far. Orioles have only had 4 hits and 19 opportunities with a runner in scoring position in the series. 0-1 pitch on the way outside, gets away, not far enough to move. McCann keeps it close, and Machado stays at second.
Nice job there by McCann. Big time block. Sliding over and keeping it close enough. Machado, a good secondary lead out there. Had a good read on that ball. Wisely holding up.
Machado representing the potential go ahead at second. Scope will ground it down to third. That will be foul. So Machado and Davis back to second and third, respectively. And Scope will get another shot at it. Warren ready, the 1-2 delivery. Scope ground ball to short. Gregorius second base. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 2 are left on. 7th inning stretch time in New York. Ball game tied at 3. Time of a 3-3 ball game as the Orioles battling here with the advantage of a big error by the Yankees to tie it up, and now Jimenez will be moving on into the 7th inning. 7th inning for an Orioles starter.
Yeah, hallelujah. Now Baldo's looking good. Command of all of his pitches. Rack up the strikeouts as well. Who's averaging up over 8 strikeouts per game this season.
Jimenez doing a great job. No walks, 7 strikeouts, has 1 hit batter. He gets Rodriguez, Bird, and Ackley due up against him here in the 7th inning. Dave Wallace, obviously, very pleased here at the outing. Orioles needed to give that bullpen a little break, and he's already done that to a degree. If he can get through 7, he'll do it to a great degree. Day off tomorrow. The opener Friday night, Kansas City. Mike Wright, Danny Duffy. 6:30 O's Extra, 7 o'clock for the ball game. The Saturday game is a Fox game at 1. Sunday game is an ESPN game at 8. Rodriguez will lead it off for the Yankees. A strikeout and he is grounded out. 3 for 11 in this series. 2 of the hits have been home runs. 1 shy of Harmon Killebrew's all-time record against the Orioles for homers, 68. A-Rod's 67. And we'll take the first pitch on the outside corner for a strike.
He picked up that 30th home run of the year in last night's ball game and ended up tying Hank Aaron for 15th time doing that in his career. Kevin Gausman with a solo shot.
One delivery on the way. That'll be looped down the line. The last Oriole pitcher to get into the 7th inning you just saw, Kevin Gausman, did it back on the 28th. August 28th. It was a loss for him, but he did get into the 7th inning of that game. And now Jimenez doing that, going into the 7th in this one. 0-2 count on Rodriguez. And we'll get him on a pitch down. That's 8 strikeouts.
Another great split finger. Another great job of getting ahead. 0-2. Look at the location of the first 2 pitches, and then the bottom falls out of the nasty split finger. Get Rodriguez.
1 shy of his season high in strikeouts. 9 came against Toronto in May. 13 is his career high. Greg Bird with power. Bird 0 for 2. Tonight 1 for 9 in the series. Striking the inside corner. One ball, 1 strike to Bird. Jonathan Scope over to Pierce. And there are 2 down. As promised earlier in the game, we've selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to O's Couch Cam. You might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile.
Now that's a couch cam right there.
That is a couch cam.
Yeah.
I like the hat placement. Well done. Here's Dustin Ackley. 2 down, nobody on. Ackley has flied out and struck out. Beltran's got all 3 RBIs for the Yankees. A home run, 2 RBI single. Orioles got 2 unearned runs in the 5th inning. And the error by Drew at second base was the big play of the game. Davis RBI single in the 1st. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Ackley. Here's Chris. 1-1 pitch on the way. Had to wait on it down the line, and it will be a fair ball. Rimo going to the corner. Ackley's going to second, and he gets a double with 2 away in the 7th inning.
Pretty nice piece of hitting right there from Dustin Ackley, picking up his 9th double of the year. A hanging breaking ball, but doesn't try to do too much with it. Just slaps it down that left field line. Arnold filling up the left center gap, so easy double for Ackley.
First hit he's had since joining the Yankees. Represents the potential go-ahead run, 7th inning. Didi Gregorius at the plate, hit by a pitch, scored, and the second time up he lined out. 1 for 4, runners in scoring position. Chopper short. Hardy on the money to get him. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. It remains a 3-3 ball game to the 8th. Frank Chance tinkers to Evers too. Played with the Chicago Cubs and then he went on to manage. Hall of Famer with some big numbers. 403 stolen bases included, and a couple of World Series. The other, Waite Hoyt. Hoyt, New York Yankee pitcher. 21 seasons, 237 wins. He had a 1,200 plus strikeout number and over 3,700 innings. Both of them celebrating what would have been a birthday today. Chance born in 1876 and Waite Hoyt in 1899.
Happy birthday, guys.
Wherever that may be celebrated. Here's Caleb Joseph. Couple of strikeouts. He is grounded out. Joseph, Pierce, Hardy are due up. Warren on the mound in relief of Sabathia. Done a good job. Sabathia charged with the 3 runs, only 1 earned. 4 hits, 4 2/3 innings. And then Warren came on, and the Orioles have had only 1 hit off him. They doubled by Manny Machado in the 7th inning. We're in the 8th. One pitch will be outside.
Talking about Hall of Fame, Bobby Dickerson, Orioles third base coach, just got inducted into the Nicholls State University Hall of Fame.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Pretty excited about that. He too just recently celebrated a birthday.
29. 2-1 delivery on the way. Came in with some heat. 2-ball, 2-strike count on Caleb. Caleb looking for his first hit in this series. He's had an 0 for 6. Despite that big 450 batting average on the year against the Yankees. Warren with a 2-2 delivery. Fouled off the other way upstairs. That's Justin Wilson, whom we have seen. Adam Warren's given up only 3 earned runs, last 14 outings. That covers 14 2/3 innings.
And Warren's been pretty valuable. Last year pitched out of the bullpen. This year need some spot starts.
Headley's got it at third. 1 away in the 8th. Joseph retired. That'll bring Pierce to the plate. He's flied out twice and popped out. Infield moves around, plays him to pull. Drew almost behind second base. Timeout asked for by McCann.
Steve Pierce is right. He can certainly use the whole field. We saw that last year. Great power numbers, and then when they started working him away, he was driving the ball in the opposite field. This year, a little bit more of a grind for Pierce. Of course, some DL time. Never really got into a good rhythm at the plate. Still a very dangerous hitter.
It's at a 1 for 2 off Warren. The only times he's faced him, and that one will be fouled away. So Pierce behind on the count, 0-2. One of the free agents we were talking about earlier. The Orioles will have to make a decision on. O2 pitch to him is outside.
One thing Steve Pierce did this year is learn some other positions. Played a little second base, some outfield, run below the Yankees bullpen, joining Wilson.
Warren's 1-2 delivery on the way as a bouncer. Right off McCann. So Steve works the count here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Orioles have left 8 on base in the ball game. 3 of those in scoring position. The Yankees have left only 2 on. Jimenez has not given them many chances. Retired 12 in a row before the Ackley double in the last half inning. In the air, left field, going back, warning track, and goodbye, home run. And the Orioles have the lead as Pierce delivers his 10th of the year, and the Orioles go on top 4-3.
Backspin and the breaking ball. Steve Pierce coming up big into double digits with home runs. 10th of the year, and a huge one at that.
For Ezekiel Granada from Manchester, our Maryland lottery contestant, that's worth $500. And it will chase Warren out of the ball game. So Warren surrenders the long ball with 1 away here in the 8th inning. The Orioles, trying to win this rubber match on that swing of the bat, have the 1-run edge.
And a good smile there after that solo shot by Steve Pierce to give the Orioles a lead. Now Nick Rumbelow coming in out of the Yankees bullpen. Take a look at his pitch arsenal. The fastball 59%, 91-96. He reaches back and throws it hard as he can. Has a curveball and a changeup to go along with it. 11 games. He's been riding that up and down roller coaster in AAA in the big leagues this summer. 2.53 earned run average and holding opponents to just a 2.20 overall batting average.
Rumbelow is a non-roster invitee by the Yankees to spring training out of Texas. Played at LSU, his college ball. Rumbelow's in his 3rd professional season. J.J. Hardy at the plate. The Orioles have the 4-3 lead on their 6th hit. Hardy will foul that one off. J.J. 0 for 3 in the ball game, 0 for 7 in the series.
Rumbelow kind of shot through the minor leagues, but take a look at this. This is the classic drop and drive delivery. He drops that arm and the back leg kind of into a squat position and everything. All the energy heading home.
Rumbelow's pitch will be fouled off. He's 23 years old. Obviously a powered pitcher. He worked entirely out of the bullpen in the minor leagues for the Yankees. And that pitch is going to be taken up high. O'Day getting ready for the Orioles. Got him. Hardy goes down, 2nd out of the inning.
Got a good fastball and throws a hard changeup. This is the pitch he gets called for strike 3. Up and just catching the outside corner. Day doesn't like the call. Rumbelow sure does.
Rumbelow's better than a strikeout per inning pitched minor league player. Put up in the air by Alvarez into foul territory. Bird over. Reaching. Long arms. And got it. Just long enough. As he went into the stands, Alvarez is retired. Orioles get a run on a hit. No errors, nobody left. Third out recorded on a good defensive play. But the Orioles lead on an offensive swing by Steve Pearce.
It was after picking up his 10th win in his last start. He was pretty dominant through the Yankees lineup. A-Rod going down on the nasty split finger. Great control of the two-seam fastball. Well, McCann going down on the splitty as well. How about chasing the high heat? Ackley doesn't like that two-seamer. Starts out at him, and there it goes. Ellsbury down on the split finger as well. Although Jimenez averaging up over 8 strikeouts per game. Well, he does it in 7 innings here. Nice solid line. 7 strong innings. Just 4 hits given up to 3 earned runs. Look at that changeup. Yeah, split finger came up big. 24% of the time. Darren O'Day now into the ball game. Fastball 55% of the time. We've seen him use it down. Seen him use it at the top of the strike zone. And of course, that sweeping slider. 169 earned run average, 66 punch outs, just 12 walks in his 53 and a third innings of work. And opponents are just a 209 overall batting average.
So O'Day will create a change in the lineup as Brent Gardner has not played in this series with a bad shoulder, is going to come on as the pinch hitter. So Gardner will lead it off, bottom of the 8th inning, hitting in the 9 spot. Then Ellsbury and Headley will be due up. Gardner 1 for 3 as a pinch hitter this year. 13 homers, 57 RBIs. In at third base, Manny Machado. Gardner's 0 for 8 against Darren O'Day. And the pitch is in there for a strike. Darren came on to get the win last night. He's 6-2. He worked 2/3 of an inning, got both hitters out, and got the victory. Coming on as the second reliever. Gosman the starter. McFarland did a great job, and then O'Day on. 0-1 pitch on the way, and that will miss outside for a ball. So the Orioles up by 1. Chance to take the rubber match. Pierce the home run. O'Day's 1-1 delivery is there for a strike.
Great pitch right there from Darren O'Day. Starts him off with 2 fastballs. Gets ahead, first pitch 2-seamer, then runs the next 2-seamer a little bit off. But how about the backdoor slider on top of that? Aaron O'Day, one of the smartest pitchers you're going to see in the game. Knows what he wants to do and typically executes every time.
Gardner waiting on the 1-2 delivery, and he'll slap that one to second base. Scope's got it. And Gardner, don't want him on the bases. They get him out of there, the leadoff batter.
One thing that has stayed solid all year long, but really picked it up since the All-Star break, is the Orioles bullpen. And look at the lowest bullpen earned run average since the All-Star break. The Orioles a 3.01. A lot of things have happened out there, but one thing for sure, O'Day and Brett Rock, they've all stayed very consistent. Brian Mattis was solid all the way through and having a strong second half as well. But some of the younger arms, Givens stepped up. Garcia coming off the DL has been very solid. Rondon, McFarland, the bullpen, which has been a strength of the Orioles in the past, continues to.
Jacoby Ellsbury, Yankee leadoff batter, reached on a fielder's choice in the 3rd inning and scored. He is 0 for 3 in the game. A couple of hits and 12 at bats in the series. A 1-0 count from O'Day. Ellsbury 2 for 7, a home run off O'Day. Swing and a miss on that one. 1-1. Orioles losing 15 out of the last 20 ball games, had scored 3 or fewer runs in 14 of those 20 games. That's why we're talking about that 4th run being so important. They haven't been able to get to it very much recently. They've gotten to it here in this game. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch, and foul back the other way. So O'Day gets ahead of him, 1-2. They're in good numbers against the Yankees. 7th appearance this year. No runs, 2 hits, 4 2/3 innings. He's had great career numbers against the Yankees with 5 wins, no losses, and a save. The Yankees have hit 161 against O'Day in 38 appearances. One-two delivery. Fastball will miss up a little away. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Red Sox routing Toronto tonight 9-1. Yankees lose. They'll fall 2.5 behind, with Toronto coming in for the 4-game set starting tomorrow night. But obviously this one not over. Ellsbury waiting on a 2-2. Again, the other way foul.
Good time for a little talk after 2-strike fastball right down the middle of the plate. Ellsbury not too healthy of a cut on.
Aaron, another one of the free agents at the end of the year on the Orioles list. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Outfield shades to left. 2-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be up. So Ellsbury able to work the count to 3-2. Alvarez very deep in right field. So a lot of room for Ellsbury to be able to poke one out there in front of the outfielder. You see, not too far off the warning track for Alvarez.
Given that whole right field line.
3-2 delivery on the way. Towering fly ball right field. Talk about perfectly positioned, a half a step back.
Right.
Alvarez has it. There are 2 down.
Nice job, Wayne Kirby. Perfect spot there.
So O'Day gets the first 2 he faces. There's Wayne positioning the outfielders. And here is Chase Headley. Headley 2 strikeouts and he has flied out. 271, 10 home runs. Headley hitting 260 against the Orioles now on the year. And the pitch will be taken down low for a ball. Headley with a 1 for 3 in the only times he's faced O'Day. Closer, Andrew Miller. Joe Girardi's trying to stay away from Betances for a couple of games. With Toronto coming in, I'd like for him to be available for all 4 of those games if necessary. 1 ball, 1 strike count with 2 down. The Yankees can't look too far ahead, and they've gotten this one where the home team brings the closer on in the 9th inning if they're trailing by a run. 1-1 pitch on the way, and that'll be outside. Oriole pitchers, one way or the other. Somebody's going to have to face the middle of the Yankee order again. O'Day's got 2 down here with Beltran waiting on deck. The Oriole magic of O'Day and Britton finish off ball games. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Foul back.
Pitch. I don't know if the gun here at Yankee Stadium's a little faster than others, but O'Day rushing that heater in there, 88 miles an hour, 88, 90, 89. It's good fastball velocity for him.
2-2, 2 down. O'Day ready again. 2-2 delivery, and that one's going to be popped up in the infield. First or second. Pierce wants it, and will put it away. So O'Day another solid inning as he retires the side in order. We go to the 9th. 4-3 Orioles. Lines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com and by visitannapolis.org. Find the Chesapeake experience at visitannapolis.org. Here in the Bronx, New York, the Orioles looking for a win, 4-3. They will hit here in the 9th inning. Brendan Ryan has come on to play at second base. Drew pinch hit for by Gardner. So Gardner ready to hit, but not ready to come on and play yet. He will be in the lineup. The Yankees hope tomorrow. Here's Nolan Reimold, top of the order. 2 runs scored in the ball game, reaching on a single and a walk. When he scored those runs, he has grounded out, popped out. Run below with a 1-0 count. He got the 2 outs to end the 8th inning. Warren went 2 2/3, a run, 2 hits. The big one, the home run by Pierce. 2-0 delivery, foul back. Sabathia worked only 4 2/3, 3 runs, 1 earned, 4 hits. Yankees have been their own worst enemy with 2 unearned runs on the board. On the misplay in the 5th inning. Two-one delivery. Reimold holds off it. And a 3-ball, 1-strike count. Yankees keep the bullpen active. Miller's ready to go if they need him. And the 3-1 delivery and a leadoff walk. The Orioles get their 4th leadoff walk of the ball game. It'll be a day off tomorrow for the Orioles. Then the Royals are in Friday on a 3-game set. Mike Wright against Danny Duffy for the opener. Our coverage on MASN, 6:30 O's Extra, presented by Southwest. Game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on MASN.
Well, let's take a look ahead here. Earned run average, that's been the key. O's at 5.73. Royals just a little bit better in the runs per game. Royals up 5.25. Of course, the Royals command of that American League Central with the 83 wins.
Amazing, 4 leadoff walks in a game. You don't get that very often. And 2 of them for the Orioles have already scored. Their 4th is Reimold here in the 9th inning.
%, of the time. Pretty good heater, 91 to 95. And also has the slider to go along with it. A herky-jerky delivery. Worked his way up through the minor leagues. 1 game this year. Nothing on the board for an earned run average, but does have 1 strikeout, 2/3 of an inning of work.
Left-hander is 24 years old, selected by the Yankees, coming out of the University of San Diego, where he played 3 years of college baseball and drafted after his junior year. Played high school in Arizona. Pretty good minor league numbers along the way. He just turned 24. Another one of the pitchers invited to spring training as a non-roster invitee. Gerardo Parra stands in with a runner at first base. The Orioles would love to add to the 1-run lead they have here in the 9th. Parra has had a base hit, 1 for 3 and a sacrifice. In at third base, Headley looking for another bunt. He squares, takes it, strike on the outside corner. So the Orioles may play little ball here in the 9th inning with nobody out and the leadoff man on. Try and get at least that 1 run in.
Well, you're going to have it in your bag of tricks at some point. And Orioles have been using the sacrifice bunt here a little bit more recently.
Again, charging at the corners. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pazos pitched AAA this year. Started AA, but on the DL. Made his major league debut Saturday against Tampa Bay. A couple of hitters got him out. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery by the lefty is bunted. Back to the mound, only plays at first. Another good bunt. So 2 sacrifices in the ball game for Parra.
Oh, well done. I mean, not an easy pitcher to bunt off. The herky-jerkiness. Of course, a real good fastball, but he gets his knees bent. Executes a really nice bunt, forcing the pitcher to make the play.
So Girardi, who likes to do the matchups, especially with the September call-ups, where you get a lot of pitchers available, is going to do it right here. Pazos will work a third of an inning. Brian Mitchell will come out of the bullpen now. Runner at second, 1 out.
Long arms, it's been up and down a few times this season for the Yankees. Take a look at his pitch arsenal. Fastball 72%, real good arm, 94 to 98 with the heater, and a nice curveball to go along with it. You see he's made a couple spot starts this year for the Yankees. A 4.56 earned run average, 22 strikeouts, 8 walks in his 23 2/3 innings of work. Opponent's hitting 300 overall. Righty's way up to 350, but the lefty's just down to 225.
So the matchups go on. And Brian Mitchell will have a runner at second base in the 9th inning with the Orioles up 4-3. And Manny Machado will be at the plate. This will be Mitchell's first career appearance against the Orioles. He got his first win on the 2nd against the Red Sox. And a strike on the inside corner. Reimold on at second base, 1 away. Machado has doubled, 1 for 4 in the ball game. Manny, after a big RBI here in the top of the 9th inning, to add to the 1-run lead. Orioles with a 1-run win, 2-1 last night, 4-3 in this one. 0-1 pitch, way outside. Yankees with a lot of new names coming out of that bullpen, with Betances, of course, and Miller being the strong fortification at the end. 1-1 pitch, way outside again, overthrow. 2-ball, 1 strike count. 2-1, 1 away. Ryan, the second baseman, trying to hold Reimold a little bit close. 2-1 delivery. All the pitches away to Manny Machado.
Trying to get him to play. Yeah, but Manny showing the patience again. Maybe McCann saying, listen, open base, work for the double play, but enter the danger zone with Chris Davis coming up behind him. So Be careful.
Three and one. Keep pitching away with the second baseman trying to hold the runner. Gives you a little bigger hole over there on that right side. Whoa. There's a swing and a half. And Manny goes down on a 360 turn and smiles a little. 3-2.
You looked over and all you see is Adam Jones' big smile after this healthy cut. Wow. He let it fly here. 3-1. He was not holding the back.
Adam should be back in the lineup Friday on that shoulder that acted up on him last couple of games. Here's the 3-2 delivery to Machado, and it's outside, so he walked it. First batter faced.
Good news. Going to pitch to Davis.
Rothschild will come out with Davis coming up with 2 on. Trying to make sure now what they're going to throw here. Got to work to Chris Davis. Davis has had an interesting night. A couple of walks, one intentional, ball thrown over his head. RBI base hit. First time up in the ball game. He has had active at bats. Kept his hit streak alive to 8 games with that first at bat base hit RBI. Two on, 1 down. Davis launches it. That's towards the right field wall, and it's going to take a hop and go up and over. A ground rule double will score 1. Reimold will come on from second base. Davis gets the RBI 2-bagger, and the Orioles add to their lead 5-3.
Well, it's just a beach ball right now for Chris Davis. He is covering everything. Is being thrown up there. 23rd double. First pitch breaking ball. That's in the middle of the plate, but you still have to have the right timing, and he is on time. Front foot down, stays behind. The baseball isn't out in front at all. One hop and up into the stands. Huge RBI there for Davis.
Run will be charged to Rumbelow. Infield moves in. Runners at second and third. 1 out. Jonathan Scope swings through that one. So a 2 RBI ball game for Chris Davis, the Orioles leader and second in the league, now with 104 batted in. Scope a base hit. Oh, 1 count with 1 down, and going after 1 up high. 0-2.
It's a good fastball, but Jonathan Scope a little over aggressive. One of the things, of course, he's had a very solid year, but much improved from last year. Take a look at Brandon Pinder out in the Yankees bullpen. But early in at bats, at times can get a little over aggressive and find himself behind in counts.
Here's the 0-2 delivery to him. What a big run here in the 9th inning, and a base hit could really blow the doors off this game. The Orioles up by 2. Michael Givens, if it's not a save situation. Zach Britton, if it is. Oh, 2 count. Lead runner Manny Machado does not have to go here, of course, with 1 away. Second and third occupied. He doesn't go. Broken back ground ball to Headley, and the out recorded on Jonathan Scope. 2 down. $30,038 the attendance tonight. Monday's attendance was 31,039. pretty close. It'll be lonely out there, but the Orioles are winning, so it's just fine. 5-3 ball game. Orioles up. Run in the 8th, run in the 9th. Home run, Pierce. Right now the game winner came in the 8th inning. Caleb Joseph. He'll foul that one away. Caleb at 0 for 4. Looking for his first hit of the series. 0 for 7. Base hit, drives in 2. Boston romping over Toronto 10-1. They too are taking forever. They're in the 6th inning. So the Yankees, they get a little help from the Red Sox of all things. Be able to stay a game and a half out with Toronto coming in for 4. Oh, 1 pitch on the way, jammed him. And a 2-strike count on Caleb.
Ball just took off inside. Throws his changeup very hard. Nice little running action. See that second pitch riding way in under the hands of Caleb.
Metcho with the 0-2 delivery to him. Gave him one to look at. A pretty good pitch. 1 ball, 2-strike count. Second and third, runners with their leads. 1-2 delivery. Joseph fights that off as well. Caleb holding the count here at 1-2.
Interesting what happened actually out in the Yankees bullpen. They had Andrew Miller up, and next thing you know, he disappears, and 3 other arms get loose, and a couple have already come in out of the pen. So probably right, trying to save the arms for this big Blue Jays series, but every win is crucial, and I think they were thinking about Miller to try to keep this game at 3.
Up high, but he went after it. So Mitchell will get the strikeout. The Orioles, though, will pick up a big run. Davis RBI double. Bottom of the 9th, 5-3 O's. It up as he did last night.
He was impressive last night, tied for 5th in the American League with 31 saves. And oh wow, the ground ball, can you believe it? Zach Britton, 80% ground ball rate, but he can throw the strikeout pitch as well. And want to end the game to the right guy, J.J. Hardy. Britton in again to close this one out. Take a look at his pitch arsenal. Fastball 91% of the time, dominant pitch from the lefty, and of course the breaking ball. we'll see on occasion, but doesn't really need it. Fastball's working. 193 earned run average, 67 punch-outs in 56 innings of work. Not only has he picked up 31 saves, but has 4 wins on the year in 54 games. And there you go, holding opponents down to just a .218 batting average. Lefties just 123 and an 80% ground ball rate.
So Britton goes to work. He is 4 for 4 in save opportunities against the Yankees this year. Beltran up, will take the pitch for a strike. And we're underway here in the bottom of the ninth. Beltran has been their offense tonight with a home run in the first inning, his 15th. 2 RBI base hit in the third. And through the middle innings, it was Ubaldo Jimenez, who retired 12 in a row. And in fact, from the third inning on, he gave up only 1 hit, a double by Ackley that came in the 7th inning. O'Day worked an inning, 1, 2, 3. Jimenez and O'Day, no walks, surrendered to the Yankees. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery on the inside corner.
That is nasty. 98 miles an hour, painted on the inside corner. Not thinking about anything else. That one's by you. Short arm delivery.
Beltran 2 for 3 with a home run off Zach. 1-2 delivery. That's outside. This is the 8th game Britton has appeared in against the Yankees. He's given up no runs on just 2 hits in 6 2/3 innings. Yankees hitting 0-9-1 against him this year. 2-2 delivery on the way. Beltran to third, knocked down. Manny Machado makes the turn and gets the out, and a big defensive play to start the bottom of the 9th inning.
Nice play there by Manny Machado. The only chance you're going to have off Britton if his fastball's elevated. Well, it's elevated, but when you have a platinum glover on the corner, it'll help you out. Manny with a beautiful play. Down low, and then, of course, that accurate, strong arm over to get the first out.
1 away. There's Brian McCann. McCann 0 for 3 tonight. 3 for 8. Lifetime against Zach. And we'll take the pitch for a strike. A victory. The Orioles will have a .500 road trip, 3-3. Improve their mark to 7-9 against the Yankees if they can hang on to this lead. 0-1 delivery on the way and a ground ball towards first. Pierce has it. Pitcher covers. Britton there. 2 down. Jimenez is going to get the win. He'll be 11-9. Warren will take the loss in relief. He'll go 6-6. Warren a run, 2 hits, 2 2/3 innings. It was the big blow by Pierce, the home run that gave the Orioles a 4-3 lead and took Warren out of the game. Jimenez, very solid night as the roller coaster ride of Ubaldo Jimenez continues.
Yeah. It's fun to watch him pitch when he's on, and he was certainly in command of this ball game. Fastball, split finger was filthy.
So A-Rod with 2 down, nobody on in the bottom of the 9th. 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts, 3 hits, 12 at bats in the series. He's 5 for 12 off Zach. So the Orioles with a chance to win this series with some good outings here in the last 2 ball games. Well pitched games. And Rodriguez swings through it.
Oh. Well, you don't see that very often. First pitch he swings that bounces on the plate, and this slider, Alex really doesn't know what to do. He's a little surprised, obviously, by the breaking ball. Nasty pitch, ends up behind him. And now 0-2.
Britton looking to finish it. There's the 0-2 delivery, and A-Rod's gone, and he knew it. So Britton does what he does. He comes on a 1-2-3 inning, and the Orioles have taken the series as they come away with a 5-3 win, 3 hours and 1 minute, and a successful night for the O's. Day off tomorrow. The Royals come in on Friday to start a 3-game set. Mike Wright on the mound against Danny Duffy. Our coverage on Masson will begin at 6:30 with O's Extra presented by Southwest. Our game coverage will be at 7 tonight.